And if you could introduce yourself to the jury and spell your name for the court reporter, please.
My name is Special Agent Lucas Beyer. I'm with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. My name is spelled Lucasbeyer.
Okay. And where do you work, sir?
Currently, I'm employed with the GBI's SEAC unit, that's Child Exploitation and Computer Crimes,
Okay. And how long have you worked for that unit?
since July 1st of 2025.
Okay. And back in 2024, where did you work?
I worked at the GBI's Athens Regional 11 office.
Okay. And does Region 11 cover Barrow County?
Yes, sir, it does.
Okay. Were you working the day that on September 4th, 2024?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And where were you that morning?
So that morning, I was located at the GBI office in Athens. I was just doing standard work, sitting at my desk working on various reports. At some point in the morning, I don't remember the exact time, supervisor notified the entire office that there was an active shooter situation occurring in Barrow County, and we immediately dropped what we were doing, got into our vehicles, and started moving towards Apalachee High School.
About what time did you arrive at Apalachee High School?
My best estimate would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 10:40, 10:45 a.m.
Okay. And what happened when you arrived?
When I arrived at Apalachee High School, I got on my vest and I entered the school at a doorway nearest the guidance counselor's office. I traveled down a hallway and made contact with some law enforcement officers that were already in the building, got an assessment of what was going on and where we were needed. I was guided towards the atrium where there was a large contingent of law enforcement personnel meeting and trying to come up with a plan to do a secondary clear of the school. By the time I arrived, the primary clear of the school had already occurred, and it's standard operating procedure to do a secondary clearing of the school to make sure that any other injured individuals are located, to make sure that there are no more threats inside the building. So I joined up with a team of Georgia State Patrol, Barrow County Sheriff's Office, myself, and some other various law enforcement that were on scene, and we conducted a secondary clear of our assigned sector.
Okay. A brief synopsis, what else did you do that day?
During the clear, or during the secondary clear, the team that I was assigned to, we happened to be assigned to do a secondary clear of what ultimately turned into the crime scene. So once the clear was concluded, I started communicating with my crime scene specialist, Special Agent Daniela Stewart, started providing her an assessment of what the scene looked like. Told her to bring as much equipment as she could. And I started conducting various investigative acts that I thought would be necessary, including locating and collecting surveillance video.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that. Did you at some point collect all the surveillance video pertinent to that area of the school?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And over the next few days and weeks, did you watch all of that school surveillance video?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And describe to me the system in general of how it worked with the surveillance system.
The surveillance system was centralized within the school. When I initially requested the surveillance video, I made contact with a school resource officer at the school, and he started the process of identifying videos and isolating them for download. It actually took quite a while to download the video, so I didn't end up picking it up physically until the following day. But the system was centralized in the school. All the cameras were coordinated. They were all on the same timestamp. Each classroom had an individual camera in it that was located in the top center of the ceiling. It had a fisheye lens, so it could catch a 360-degree view despite being a single camera. There were also surveillance cameras positioned throughout the hallways, also mounted on the ceilings. All these cameras operated on the same timestamp. The surveillance cameras in the hallway provided a slightly different angle. They weren't fish-eyed like the classroom cameras were, but they still coordinated at the same time.
Okay. When you're reviewing these videos, can you pick and choose, or is it you're watching this hallway camera throughout the entire time, and then you're watching this television or this classroom camera all the way through?
While I was watching the video, it was individual camera feeds exclusively.
Okay. And were you able to piece together a timeline of following Colt from when he got on the bus until all the way through the shooting?
Yes, sir, I was.
Okay. I want to pull up a map of the school. And there should be a pointer up there still for the last witness. Yeah. And so it's, if you use the one behind you and show us from the video, I want you to walk us through Colt's path from when he got off the bus at the school through the shooting.
The bus dropped Colt off approximately here. Colt traveled and entered the school through a set of doors here. He traveled down this hallway.
Would you flip for us?
You stand on the other side of your chair. You stand on this side.
Yeah.
I apologize. We'll start over. The bus dropped Colt off here. He entered the school through a set of doors here, moved along this hallway, and then there was a large gathering area, a cafeteria here. Colt walked along the outside of that cafeteria, traveled down this main hallway into the atrium, and then entered this hallway where he entered his first period classroom.
And could you point out his first period classroom for us?
First period classroom was, I believe, one of these two classrooms here.
Okay. And at the end of first period, where did he go?
He exited his classroom, continued to travel down this hallway, and entered this hallway here, traveled all the way down, and then entered J Hall, where he went to his second period class,
Okay.
which is located here.
Okay. And for the shooting, when he left his second period class, where did he go?
He exited second period, traveled back down this hallway, and entered the bathrooms that are located here.
Okay.
He remained in the bathrooms for an extended period of time, ultimately exited the bathroom, and traveled back to his second period classroom where he attempted to gain access to that classroom.
And did he gain access to the classroom?
No, sir, he did not.
What did he do at that point?
He moved to the immediate neighboring classroom. The door was open in that classroom, and he entered that classroom and proceeded to shoot.
How far into the classroom did he enter?
No more than 3 or 4 steps, sir.
Okay. And how many shots did it appear in the video? How long was he in the room shooting?
He was in the room for 10 to 12 seconds, if memory serves correctly. It was difficult to tell based off the video and the video quality how many shots he took, but it was several shots that he took inside that classroom.
Okay. And when you left that classroom, where did he go?
When he left the classroom, he went back down J Hall, traveling back towards the restroom. When he was approximately here in the hallway, he fired some more and ultimately struck teacher Christina Ermy.
We'll stop you there. We got a more close up. That area, that's probably easier for you. Make sure you have the stretch there.
Thank you.
Right side up.
All right, so once again, this was the classroom that he started firing in. When he exited that doorway, he traveled down the hallway, and when he was almost at the intersection of J Hall and I Hall, he saw Miss Ermy coming out of this classroom. He fired the rifle, struck her, and then almost simultaneously turned his attention down this hallway where he saw Mr. Aspinwall and Mr. Phoenix coming out of their respective classrooms, at which time he fired several more shots in their direction, striking both of them. After turning his attention away from Mr. Phoenix and Mr. Aspinwall, he continued to travel down this hallway until he reached almost the end of the hallway. It was at that point that Mason Schermerhorn came out of the bathroom. Colt turned around, saw Mason Schermerhorn coming out of the bathroom, fired at him, initially missed. Mason turned around to try to flee. Unfortunately, he turned right around to face Colt Gray, and he was shot at that point. After shooting Mason Schermerhorn. Colt turned down this hallway. And he tried to, he tried to lift the rifle and take aim at another student that was in that hallway, Zane Zinni. But it was at that point that the Brevard County school resource officers came down the hallway and were able to get Colt to stop shooting.
Thank you. Because you had to watch all of this on individual cameras, did you have an idea about doing something to fix that?
Yes, sir. I tried to get in touch with, or I did get in touch with the Federal Bureau of Investigation and asked about resources to put the video together and stitch it together in a more cohesive video product so that when viewing the video it didn't have to be individual videos and clicking on different files, that we could just generate a singular file that would show a stitched together version of all the events and all the cameras pieced together.
Okay. And were those videos sent to the FBI so they could make that composite video?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And was that composite video returned, and have you seen that video?
I have seen that video, yes, sir.
Okay. And does it accurately depict the shooting and the course of Colt Gray through the school as you saw it?
Yes, sir, it does.
Okay. Your Honor, this time I tender the videos 192.1 and 192.2 in the evidence.
Doing okay. All right, 191 and 192 will be.
Okay. And there's also footage from that will be showing that's already admitted into evidence, which is state exhibit number 22, is that correct? 22 from the classroom, Your Honor.
Say that again.
We're also going to be showing what's already in evidence, which is exhibit 22, the fisheye, Your Honor.
prior ruling, you will, sir, hit your kill switch for the recording the TV monitors. And of course, no one in the media or otherwise is to record or photograph the TV monitor.
Again, Byron, the video when he steps into the classroom and fires, was that zoomed in on Colt?
Yes, sir.
Does it, by zooming in on Colt, does it exclude a lot of the rest of the room?
Yes, sir, it does.
Okay. Your Honor, this time we would like to play just the clip from inside that classroom from the fisheye camera unaltered so that it shows what the other students are doing in that classroom, since they are all charged victims in the case.
Is this 191.2?
It's actually 191.3, Your Honor, on the clips, but I think it's Exhibit 22. 22.1. And Your Honor, this would not be. At 2 minutes we stop it, and then after that they can't show anymore.
Okay, good. All right. there's to be no recording or broadcasting, photographing from this point to the end of the video.
Yes, sir. Agent Byer, from your viewing of the video, when the shooter left the classroom, how did the door get shut?
Based on my review of the video, the door was closed by Christian Angulo.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Cross.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, Agent.
Afternoon, sir.
You had a pretty big presence there at the school, I'm sure, by the GBI. Did you have a number of people from your unit there in Athens?
Yes, sir.
How many people from Athens came, if you remember?
Everybody that was assigned to our office, both of our supervisors, every field agent that was working that day, even those that may not have been working at the office, came at some point in the day.
And a number of your colleagues from Atlanta also showed up, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know whether there were any agents there that were doing, say, the investigation of what was at the home of Mr. Gray?
There was an investigation ongoing at the Gray home. I'm not personally familiar with it. I never went there and never laid eyes on it, sir.
Okay. That was not something you had anything to do with?
No, sir.
And did anyone share any of that information with you? In other words, any of the items that were found at the home?
There were small details coming in throughout the day, throughout the next several days. There were some photographs that were shared. Specifically, I can't recall exactly what all was shared at that time. There was a lot going on in those days.
Okay. And you don't recall who the particular agent from GBI would have gone to the home to do an analysis of what was found at the home?
No, sir, I did not know.
And looking at the video, we see at 8:02 Colt Gray texting someone.
Yes, sir.
Did anyone indicate to you who that might be that he was texting at
No, sir.
8:02?
No, sir.
You didn't collect his phone, correct?
Not personally, no, sir. I transported it at some point to the Barrow County Sheriff's Office for extraction, but I did not personally collect it.
All right. We notice also in the video that the resource officers go to the bathroom and they pull out Colton Gray, another Gray with similar name.
Yes, sir.
Were they in the same bathroom as Colt Gray?
Yes, sir.
So Colt Gray and Colton Gray were both in the same bathroom at the same time?
That is correct.
Okay. Do you know why nobody got the right Colton Gray out of the bathroom?
Not personally, no. To the best of my knowledge, based on interviews that I did with Ms. D. Martin, the assistant principal, there was confusion in regards to the name, and there was also confusion in regards to Colt Gray himself, because he had not been at the school for an extended period of time, and he was lesser known than Colton Gray was.
Okay, so nobody gave anybody a description of who this person or what this person may look like?
That I don't know, sir.
And was there anything else done in relation to this case by you other than dealing with these videotapes?
Yes, sir. I conducted a number of interviews, mostly of teachers and administrative staff at the school. I did not interview any of the students or children that attended the school. Several interviews and video review were primarily the bulk of what I contributed to the investigation.
Okay. Did you do, or anyone with your unit talk to any of the students that were in the same classroom that he was?
There were a number of student interviews conducted by GBI agents. I did not participate in those, sir.
Okay. And no one, to your knowledge, indicated that they had seen this gun sticking out of the cardboard piece that it was in?
No, sir. Nobody, based on the staff members and teachers that I interviewed, nobody told me specifically that they saw the gun. There was a mere suspicion that there was an unusual object in the bag, but nobody was able to identify it as a rifle.
All right. Thank you for your work, Agent.
Yes, sir.
Can you redirect?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir.